And this is a letter from Bill Donahue, who is president of the Catholic League. And I've read a few of his letters on air before. And the reason I'm touching on this is because MSNBC smears Christians, and Bill Donahue took time to write MSNBC and to the parent company's CEO at Comcast. Miss Rashida Jones, President, MSNBC, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, Building 620, New York, New York, 10112. Dear Miss Jones, recent anti-Christian attacks by MSNBC hosts and guests demand a vigorous network response. On January 16th, MSNBC guest Tara Setmeyer, representing the Lincoln Project, smeared Christians when she referred to them as a death cult. She also accused evangelical Christians of being a national liability. Not only have they failed America, but they've failed Christianity. On January 15th, MSNBC host Joy Reid complained that Iowa has too many white Christians, saying they are overrepresented in the caucuses. She attributed to them the conviction that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American and is a less real American. If a guest or host on MSNBC said that Muslims are a death cult, there would be repercussions. If it were said that Jews have failed both America and Judaism, there would be repercussions. If it were said the atheists believe that everyone who is not a non-believer is a fraudulent American, there would be repercussions. Why have there been no repercussions regarding the anti-Christian remarks made by MSNBC guests and hosts? Bigotry against any demographic group should never be given airtime on television. I'd appreciate a response to this serious issue. Sincerely, William A. Donahue, Ph.D., President. Now, you know the first thing my thoughts are, Tower?
What's that?
This is MSNBC.
Yes.
MSNBC is corrupt.
I would be interested to know if she even responded to him.
Yeah, I haven't seen any response. I haven't read about it in anything.
Yeah, total corruption.
Well, see, this is typical of these hosts, though.
Right.
Because I've heard them on a number of
right.
issues. You know, these... Joy Reid is just... She's poison.
It's too bad that the news and all these talk shows have... I don't know what's the word, devolved into the trash heap, the garbage pit of America, the slime bucket.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. And Joy Reid regularly, you know, if you want to become offended, just go over there. It won't take her long.
I remember when, back in the day, because I'm old enough to remember, old enough to remember, that they would never give their opinion. They would report the news and the truth, and they would never give their opinion about anything, how they felt.
Yeah, and that is an issue.
And now they don't care.
No, they don't care. None of them do. So it's too bad, but that's the way it is today. And so... You know, I agree with William A. Donahue. They shouldn't be saying these things, and they should give a response. And I don't know. I was going to do this quite a while ago, but because of the holidays and things, we weren't able to do that. And this was on January 17th. The letter is dated. And, of course, today's the 31st. We're a couple weeks late, but I wanted to... you know, my first thought, it really defines what this is about. This is about an America that's divided. This is about America that's filled with hatred, bigotry, biasness, and it's an America where we find the blacks now wanting to rule over whites, and these are the blacks that want money for something that happened a long time ago called slavery. None of them recognize the fact that there was a civil war that was fought to free the blacks, and hordes of blood was shed on that field, the fields of the South and the North, to free the blacks. The price paid was in blood. So as far as I'm concerned, take your want for reparations and shove it where the sun don't shine.
You know what I think so tragic about this is that this divide has been orchestrated to destroy America, and it's working.
Yeah.
And instead of us working together, black, white, yellow, purple, green, instead of us all joining together for the betterment of America, we're divided, and it's so tragic. It's very disturbing.
It is. And so, while this article didn't talk about, the black, white, and the divide of the races, that's what's behind it. And I've seen Joy Reid many times, and her mouth and her sharp tongue. And it's always about a black person putting down everybody else, speaking vile. So, go ahead, Tower.
Okay, this is 2024, The Persecuted Church, via barnabasaid.org. Many Americans have no concept to what real persecution for the Christian faith is like. It challenges Americans to help their brothers and sisters in the faith. Be sure to support a solid biblical Christian ministry that has boots on the ground in these areas. This is a quick update on the persecuted church. An Iranian Christian convert remains in detention after being arrested on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, 2023. Esmail's home in Dezful in western Iran was raided in a search conducted without a warrant, and Christian books were confiscated. He was allowed to telephone his family on Christmas Day to inform them that he was being held in another town around 100 miles south of where he was arrested. Esmail was among several converts cleared of propaganda charges in 2021, but subsequently forced to attend Islamic classes. Another Iranian Christian convert received notice to begin her sentence in Evin Prison, and now Evin Prison is the most notorious prison in Iran. And she was sentenced to Evin Prison on January 3rd. Mina is her name. She's 60. She was summoned to begin a 6-year sentence for acting against national security by promoting Zionist Christianity. This is typical of the kind of accusations made against Iranian believers just for being active in house churches. She was arrested in 2020 and sentenced in 2022 alongside Nazari, who also sentenced to 6 years, and Pastor Joseph, who received a 10-year term. Both Joseph and Nazari were released early from their sentences in 2023. However, Mina was deemed unfit to begin her sentence when her ankle was broken after she was run over by a car. an incident that caused her to have metal plates fitted and she now walks with a limp. She was required to present herself to the prison within 5 days of the notice. And at least 15 people were killed in an airstrike by the Myanmar military, the Tatmadaw, that targeted 2 church buildings in Kampat Township. And the strike hit a village in the township at around 10:15 a.m. on Sunday, January 7th. One witness said that 8 children were among the dead. Witnesses reported that as many as 30 people were injured. So 14 men were killed in coordinated attacks by Islamic militants on Christian communities in Chibok, in the Borneo state, in northeastern Nigeria on New Year's Day. The attacks followed a raid on December 19th in 2023 in which 3 men were killed. 1 woman was abducted. Several shops were burned down in the raids. In neighboring Yobe state, Islamic terrorists Boko Haram are suspected of murdering Pastor Luca on January 5th. Pastor Luca was shot dead at around 2 a.m. along with the church treasurer. 4 others were also killed. Several houses and a church were burned down when the terrorists invaded the community. All this stuff is just horrible that's going on in these countries, and please remember to pray for your brethren that God will give them favor as they serve time in prison, that He will comfort the people that have lost loved ones, that He will help them to recover. So please pray for these people. It's terrible what's going on with them.
Well, the thing of it is that, there is more Christian persecution going on than ever before.
It's really ramped up in the last few years.
And the issue is that the governments of men don't seem like they care whether it stops or not.
That's right.
And so, we've been covering Nigeria for many years, going back to one of the leaders was Jonathan Goodluck Johnson, and he was trying to bring some change, but that didn't work. Jonathan Goodluck Johnson was a Christian. But the bottom line of it is that this continues to go on. Now, the change here comes out of Finland. Now, we've seen this thing out of some of the EU, European, and that's the whole up and down the coast, clear to the top of the realm up there. This is Finland. Now, there's a young man here, I can't pronounce his name, but he's being charged with hate speech. Oh, it's a woman. Excuse me. Pavi. She posted Bible verses on social media. Now, see, that's a simple thing.
Yeah. Should be okay, you would think.
Well, if you live in Finland, especially the EU countries, there's just issues. And Denmark has been bad, even Canada has been bad, and it's hard to believe that, there was a bastion of Christianity all over Europe. Now they act like a bunch of, unbelievers who hate Christians. So at any rate, it goes on to say the Supreme Court would have the final say on whether the Bible or